In the grand chaotic cathedral of PC building, there are two prevailing religions. The first is the church of maximum RGB. The second is the cult of the spec sheet. Convinced that a 2% performance gain is worth selling a kidney for. But what if I told you there's a third way? A build that spits in the face of hype, scoffs at brand loyalty, and is so aggressively sensible that it makes both of these groups furious. This is the ultimate streamer and gaming PC for around 1,30,000 rupees or about $1,500, and I'm going to walk you through every part on Amazon to show you why it's the smart choice. This video is entirely, painfully unsponsored. Every single component you're about to see was chosen by my own brain, and the opinions are clearly and completely my own. So if you happen to be a brand with a large marketing budget and perhaps some questionable judgment here and there, my DMs are open. Please have a look. Hook a brother up. Come on. Okay, let's start with the parts of the build that everyone sees but nobody truly understands, right? The altar of content. These are your webcam, your microphone, your lighting. You're going to need these three if you want to stream. The holy trinity that determines whether you look like a seasoned professional or a hostage recording a proof of life video. The hype chasers will tell you that you need a $1,000 mirrorless camera, a $400 Shure microphone, the lightning rigs that could illuminate a small moon. I'm about to tell you that it's all nonsense. For our webcam, we're going to go with the Creo Owl because it delivers a crisp 1080p 60 FPS image without demanding a blood sacrifice to the DSLR gods. Then there's light. You need to control it, right? The Creo Slab key light is our weapon of choice here. It's a simple, effective, soft light panel that makes you look alive and costs less than a fancy dinner. It's not a $500 Elgato key light, don't get me wrong, and that's the entire point. It clips to your desk, it lights your face, and it doesn't require a degree in cinematography to operate. But what about sound? The Creo Cast is the USB microphone that provides broadcast quality audio with the groundbreaking complexity of plugging in a single cable. To hold that mic, we're going to use the Audio Array AA20 arm. It's a solid piece of metal that holds your mic in place without the absurd pricing of a pro-grade arm. The famous German minimalist designer Klaus von Hellman once said, "Functionality that announces itself is a failure." The arm is silent, it just works. Now, for the machine itself, the brain and the heart. This is the section on cheating the system with a sweet spot. The CPU is the AMD Ryzen 5 9600X, not the 9700X, not the 9900X, the 9600X. Why? Because we live in the real world, not a Linus Tech Tips video, okay? The Ryzen 5 9600X offers the absolute sweet spot of modern gaming and streaming performance without the absurd price jump of its bigger brothers. Now, for the vast majority of tasks, the extra money for a Ryzen 7 or 9 gets you almost nothing in return. It's the definition of diminishing returns. Unless you want to run pro-grade Blender-related software, you want to run 3D-related stuff, you don't really need it. The same philosophy applies to our motherboard, right? We're not getting some 40,000 rupee X-series board with 18 power phases and chrome-plated heatsinks. That's for people who enjoy setting money on fire, and I really hope you're not one of them. We're using a B650 MSI board with Wi-Fi because it has every feature a modern gamer needs. PCI 5.0, DDR5, Wi-Fi 6E, without the ludicrous enthusiast tax. Now, don't have to pay that. It's the sensible sedan to their overpriced, impractical sports car. Rishi, I'm looking at you. And for memory, the choice is critical. With Ryzen, speed and latency matter. That's why we have 32 gigs of Patriot DDR5 RAM running 6500 MTs with a CAS latency of 30, which is widely known as the performance sweet spot for this CPU generation. Now, as Klaus von Hellman would say, the spec sheet is a menu, not a Bible. Don't order everything. Next, the part that everyone talks about first, the graphics card, the engine of the pretty pictures. This brings me to what I call the Pixel Fallacy, the great lie the industry has been selling you for years. They scream 4K, 4K, 4K from the rooftops. They sell you 80,000 rupee graphics card and 60,000 rupee monitors and tell you that this is the only true way to game. Look, my belief is very simple. The human eye, when focusing on shooting aliens or building medieval empires, cannot meaningfully distinguish between 1440p and 4K on a standard 27-inch monitor, dude. What it can distinguish with solid clarity is the difference between a 60 frames per second and 300 frames per second. Smoothness is king, not resolution. And that is why our build is built for a different kind of supremacy. The GPU is the ASRock RX 9060 XT, a card that is an absolute monster at 1080p and even at 1440 at times. It will shred any modern titles you throw at it, delivering silky smooth frames that actually make you a better player. You pair that with the monitor that I'm talking about, the Acer Predator XB253Q at under 15,000 rupees, getting a mind-blowing 300Hz refresh rate from a reputable brand. Look, to me, that's borderline theft. This combination, the 9060 XT and the 300Hz Predator monitor, it's a marriage made in heaven, dude. Finally, we are arriving at the parts nobody ever talks about at parties. the skeleton and the guts, the unsexy heroes of a PC. Take the case. So many people buy these beautiful glass coffins with terrible airflows, right? It's insane. They're literally cooking their expensive components just so they can stare at some rainbow lights. Our case, the Cooler Master CM501L, is simple high airflow box cooling over vanity. It keeps your parts cool, which makes them run faster and last longer. It's very straightforward. It's a tool, it's not a jewel. It avoids the vanity tax altogether. Now to cool our CPU, we turn to the legend, the Noctua NH-U9S. This is simply put one of the best air coolers ever made. It's quieter than a Librarian, more reliable than Gravity, and will likely outlive you and me both. Then the single most important component for longevity of your systems, the power supply, dude. The EVGA 750 watt gold PSU is our choice because it delivers clean, stable and efficient power from a brand with a rock solid reputation. 750 watts is more than enough for this build, with enough headroom for future upgrades as well. Now do not under any circumstances buy a cheap power supply. Just don't, dude. For storage, the answer is simple. Solid state drive. The ADATA Gamix 1TB M.2 drive provides lightning fast boot times and game loads, and a full terabyte gives you ample space for your OS and a healthy library of games. And finally, a tiny upgrade that makes a huge difference. The mount up single monitor mount. It's a cheap and easy way to get your monitor off your desk, freeing up enough space and putting the screen at the perfect ergonomic height for your enjoyment. So there it is. A complete top to bottom streamer and gaming setup for about 1.3 lakhs all in all. Now, it's not the flashiest build, it won't win any benchmark beauty contest. It's a machine built on a simple, almost revolutionary idea, the concept of enough. And this brings me to my philosophical tangent. We live in the culture of perpetual dissatisfaction, right? Fueled by marketing that tells us what we have is never good enough. The phone you bought last year, outdated, obsolete. The TV, damn, you really need a new model. The PC, a few percentage points slower than the latest and greatest. This build is about planting a flag. It's about recognizing that the point of the tool is not to endlessly keep upgrading the tool, but to use the tool, to create, to compete, to connect. The goal isn't to have the best PC, it's to have the PC that lets you be the best you. And then maybe, just maybe, you can stop watching videos like this one and actually go play a damn game, dude. The soft model here is that smart is the new sexy, or at least it should be. Being informed is more valuable than being impulsive, right? The build isn't just a collection of parts, it's a rejection to the hype. It's a smart money build. So what do you think, right? Which parts of this would you change? Why do you disagree with what I'm saying in this video? Let me know in the comments. I read all of them, especially the angry ones that question my life choices. And if you want to join the rebellion against the hype machine, hit that subscribe button and comment the word sensible down below, and I'll know you're one of us. Stay smart out there.